The forest was dark, the kind of dark that made every shadow look alive. The soldier moved fast, his boots pressing against wet soil. His breath was heavy, but he did not stop. Behind him, the sound of the hunters grew louder. The girl clung to his back. Her small hands shook as she held on to his armor. Her voice was weak, almost broken. "Please don't give me to them," she whispered. Trembling, her words sent a chill through his body. He did not know her name, he had only found her hours ago, running from those creatures that looked half machine, half beast. She had fallen at his feet. Blood on her knees, terror in her eyes, she begged for help. And somehow, he could not turn away. The hunters were close now. He could hear their metallic growls like broken engines mixed with animal cries. Red lights flashed in the distance, scanning through the trees. They were searching, they would not stop. The soldier pressed his back against an old stone wall, the remains of a ruin that had stood here for centuries. He held the girl close, his finger on the trigger of his rifle. He was trained for war, but this was different. "These were not normal enemies. Why do they want you?" he asked in a low voice. His eyes scanned the shadows. She shook her head, her silver eyes glowing faintly in the dark. "Because I know their secret," she said. Her voice cracked. "If they take me, if they silence me, no one will know the truth." The soldier narrowed his eyes. Truth. What truth could make monsters chase a girl across worlds? Before he could ask again, a sudden hiss echoed. A hunter's spear cut through the trees. Missing them by inches, it burned against the stone. Leaving a glowing scar, the girl gasped, holding tighter to him. The soldier lifted his rifle and fired. The sound cracked through the silence. One of the hunters fell, sparks flying from its chest, but more shadows moved. More red lights spread through the forest. "We cannot fight them all," the girl whispered. Her body shook with fear. "Then we keep moving," the soldier said. He pulled her up and pushed forward through the broken ruins. The forest grew thicker, twisted roots reaching like claws. The smell of smoke filled the air. Somewhere in the distance, fire burned. The hunters were closing in, cutting off every path. The soldier's heart raced. He had fought battles before, but never like this. He was not just protecting himself, he was protecting someone who had become his mission. Though he did not know why. The girl stumbled but did not let go. "They are not what you think," she whispered. Her words were almost lost in the chaos. "They were once like you." He looked back at her, confused. But before he could answer, another explosion shook the ground. Trees split apart, fire lit up the night sky. The hunters were relentless. They ran into a cave hidden under a fallen cliff. The soldier pushed her inside and pressed against the wall. He listened. The hunter's steps echoed outside, heavy and sharp. They were close, too close inside the cave. The girl pulled something from her pocket. It was small, glowing faintly blue like a piece of living light. The soldier stared at it. "What is that?" he asked. Her eyes met his. "Filled with fear and sorrow, hope," she whispered. "And danger." The sound of hunters grew louder. Their voices in the strange alien tongue carried through the night. But one word stood clear, sharp, filled with hate. "Human." The soldier felt his grip tighten on the rifle. They were not only after her, they were after him too. The girl leaned against the wall, her body trembling. "Please," she begged again. "Don't give me to them, promise me." The soldier looked at her, then at the mouth of the cave glowing red with the light of the hunters. He did not understand everything, but he understood one thing. She was terrified, and whatever secret she carried, it was something the hunters would kill to hide. The night stretched long, filled with fire and shadows. The soldier stood in silence, his rifle ready, the girl behind him clutching the glowing crystal. Outside, the hunters closed in, step by step. In that moment, he knew. The fight was no longer about survival. It was about choice, protect her or hand her over. Either path would change everything. The cave shook as another blast hit. The girl gasped, hiding behind him. "Please," she whispered one last time. "Don't give me to them." And then the red lights of the hunters filled the cave entrance. The cave shook again, dust falling from the roof. The soldier pulled the girl deeper inside. But the hunters were already at the entrance. Their red eyes glowed. Their metallic claws scraped against the stone. The sound echoed like death. "Move," the soldier whispered. He guided her through a narrow path inside the cave. His rifle ready, his steps silent but fast. The girl clutched the glowing crystal close to her chest. Her breath trembled. Behind them, the hunters entered. Their heavy steps struck the ground. Slow but steady, they were hunting, not rushing. Confident they would trap their prey. The soldier knew it too. If he kept running straight, they would corner him. The cave opened to another exit. The night sky returned, the forest stretched wide. But the danger was greater here. The hunters had spread out. Red lights moved through the trees like a net closing in. The soldier grabbed the girl's hand and ran. His boots crushed leaves. His armor scraped against broken branches. Each sound felt louder than thunder in the silence of the forest. Every step risked discovery. The girl looked back, her silver eyes wide with fear. "They are everywhere," she whispered. "I know," the soldier said. His voice was hard. "But we don't stop." A sudden flash hit the ground near them. A spear of burning energy, it exploded, throwing dirt into the air. The girl screamed, falling to the ground. The soldier pulled her up quickly, firing his rifle in return. Bullets sparked against a hunter's chest. The creature stumbled but did not fall. They ran again, twisting through the trees. The forest seemed endless, yet every direction felt closed. The hunters had planned this chase. They were driving him like prey. The girl gasped, struggling to keep pace. She was weak, her knees shook, her small frame bent under fear. "Leave me," she whispered. "They want me." "Not you." The soldier looked at her sharply. "Not happening," he said, pulling her closer. "We get out together." The sound of drones filled the air. Machines with red wings hovered above the trees. Scanning the ground with beams of light, the soldier cursed under his breath. He fired. One drone fell burning, but two more replaced it. They dove into the ruins of an ancient stone hall. Half buried under roots and vines, the walls were cracked. Symbols of a forgotten race glowed faintly. The soldier pushed the girl behind a broken pillar. He crouched beside her, his rifle ready. The hunters' voices carried through the night. Their strange language was harsh, metallic, filled with hate. Yet again, the same word echoed clear: human. The girl shivered. Her hands tightened around the crystal. "They know who you are," she whispered. Her voice was almost broken. "They call you enemy. They call you traitor." The soldier frowned. He had never met these creatures before tonight. Why would they call him that? But there was no time to think. The hunters moved closer. Their red lights filled the ruins like fireflies of death. The soldier motioned the girl to stay low. Then he crawled to a broken arch and peeked out. At least 5 hunters moved in a line. Their weapons ready, he threw a small grenade. The explosion shook the ruins. Stone dust filled the air. The hunters staggered, roaring in rage. The soldier grabbed the girl and ran again. Smoke covered them for only seconds, but it was enough. They crossed a river. The water cold and fast. The girl almost slipped, but the soldier pulled her up. Behind them, the hunters fired. Bolts of red energy cut through the water. Steam rose in clouds. The soldier fired back, hitting one, its body falling into the river and sinking. The chase did not stop. For every hunter that fell, more appeared. The forest was alive with their steps, their growls, their lights. The girl's fear grew, her voice breaking with every breath. "They will not stop," she whispered. "They will follow us until the end. Then we make the end on our terms," the soldier said. His jaw tight, his eyes sharp. He was not just running now. He was looking for a place to fight. They stumbled into another ruin, this one larger, with broken towers rising against the moonlight. The soldier pulled her inside, pressed her against the wall, and raised his rifle. The hunters were near. Their shadows stretched across the stones. The girl looked at him, her eyes wet. "If they take me," she whispered, "don't let them win. Promise me, promise you will not give me to them." The soldier looked at her, his chest heavy with the weight of her words. He gave a sharp nod. "I promise." Outside, the sound of hunters grew louder. The ruins trembled under their march. Red lights cut through the dark. The soldier tightened his grip on the rifle. The girl held the crystal close. The chase was not over, it was only beginning. The ruins were silent for a moment. Only the soldier's heavy breath and the girl's trembling gasps filled the air. Outside, the hunters moved like shadows, their claws scraping against stone, their voices echoing in their harsh alien tongue. The soldier pressed his back against a broken wall, his rifle ready. The girl crouched beside him, clutching the glowing crystal as if it were her heart. Her silver eyes stared at him, full of fear but also of something else, a desperate need for him to understand. "They will never stop," she whispered. "They will keep hunting until either I am gone or the secret is gone." The soldier glanced at her, his voice low and sharp. "What secret?" She hesitated, her hands shaking. Her lips parted, but no words came. Finally, she swallowed hard and whispered, "They were once like you." The soldier frowned. His eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" Her voice trembled. The hunters, the monsters outside, they are not aliens, they are not beasts. They were once human. The words hit him like a blade. For a moment he thought she was lying, a trick. But the look in her eyes was too broken. Too real. They were taken, she continued. Changed by experiments, twisted into weapons. Machines fused with flesh. Their minds broken, their bodies rebuilt. They lost everything that made them human. Now they serve only one master, and they will destroy anyone who knows the truth. The soldier clenched his jaw. His mind raced. If what she said was true, then these hunters were not only enemies. They were victims, but that meant something darker too. Someone had made them this way. Someone had turned humans into monsters. The girl held up the crystal, its faint light shining between them. This holds proof, she whispered. Memories, records, the truth of what was done. If it is destroyed, no one will ever know. If they get it back, they will erase everything. The soldier stared at the light. It pulsed like a heartbeat, soft but alive. He reached out but stopped short of touching it. And you? He asked. Why you? Why are they after you? Her face lowered, shadows covering her silver eyes. Because I found it. Because I saw what they had hidden. I am the only one left who knows. To them I am not just a runaway. I am a threat. The soldier's breath grew heavy. His finger tightened on the trigger of his rifle. The hunters' voices grew louder outside. They were spreading through the ruins. Searching, they were close. He looked back at the girl. You should have stayed away from me, he muttered. Now they hunt us both, her voice broke. I had nowhere else to go, she whispered. I trusted you because you are human. And they are not anymore. The soldier's chest tightened. He had seen war, he had seen betrayal. But something in her words cut deeper. He was the last wall between her and them. The ruins shook as a blast struck the outer wall. Stone crumbled, dust filled the air. The girl gasped, covering her face. The soldier pulled her back. Firing his rifle through the smoke, sparks flew as bullets struck a hunter's chest. The creature staggered, sparks and blood mixing. Another hunter leapt from the shadows. The soldier spun, his knife flashing. The blade cut deep into the creature's throat. But the beast roared, half machine, half man, refusing to fall. It took 3 more shots before it collapsed. Metal grinding against stone, the girl cried out, clutching the crystal tighter. Her hands shook, but she did not let go. Her eyes locked on the soldier. Now you see, she whispered. They bleed like humans once did. They fight like humans once did. But they are no longer free. The soldier looked at the fallen body, his stomach twisted. The face of the hunter was scarred but human beneath the metal mask. A broken jaw, a single eye still filled with rage. It was not just a beast. It was something that had been stolen. For the first time he felt a shadow of pity. But pity would not stop the chase. Pity would not protect the girl. More footsteps shook the ruins. The soldier pulled her up. We move, he ordered. She nodded weakly. Still holding the crystal, still whispering, please. Don't let them take me. They slipped through the ruins, climbing broken stairs and moving under collapsed towers. The night air returned, filled with smoke and fire. The hunters roared behind them, closer than ever. The soldier's heart pounded, his mind repeated her words. They were once human. It was a truth too heavy to carry, but it was also the reason he could not stop. The girl stumbled, but the soldier caught her. Her eyes glowed with the reflection of the crystal. If I fall, she whispered, destroy this. Do not let them have it. The soldier looked at her, his jaw tight. I am not letting you fall, he said. The hunters closed in, their red lights flickering through the night like a storm of fire. The soldier raised his rifle. The girl held the crystal. Together they ran into the darkness, carrying the weight of a secret that could change everything. The night was alive with fire and shadow. The soldier pulled the girl through the ruins, his rifle in one hand, her arm in the other. Behind them the hunters roared, their red eyes burning in the dark. We are almost clear, the soldier whispered. But he knew it was a lie. The forest ahead was too quiet. Too open, he felt it in his bones. Something was wrong. The girl clutched the glowing crystal close. Her silver eyes darted left and right. They are not chasing, she whispered. They are waiting. The soldier nodded, his jaw tight. He had seen this before in war. The enemy did not always strike fast. Sometimes they closed the walls and built a cage. The ground shook, a sudden flash lit the night. Explosions ripped the earth around them. Trees splintered, stone shattered. The soldier threw himself over the girl, shielding her from the blast. Dirt and smoke rained down on them. When he looked up, his blood ran cold. Shapes moved from every direction, hunters stepping out of the fire, their claws gleaming, weapons humming. They had been driven here on purpose. This was no chase anymore, this was a trap. The girl's voice broke. No, they will take me. Not while I breathe, the soldier growled. He lifted his rifle and fired. Bullets tore through the smoke. One hunter fell, sparks sprang from its chest, but 3 more replaced it, their eyes fixed on the girl. The hunters spoke in their broken language, harsh and metallic. The soldier could not understand their words, but one word came clear again, sharp as a knife. Human. He fired again, forcing them back, but his ammo was running low. Each bullet mattered. Every shot had to count. The girl pulled at his arm, her eyes wide with panic. We cannot fight them all, we must run. The soldier shook his head. No way out. They want us to run, they will cut us down the moment we move. A drone swooped overhead. Its wings glowing red, the soldier fired, shattering it into sparks, but the blast lit their position. More hunters rushed forward, claws striking stone. The soldier drew a grenade and hurled it. The explosion cracked the ruins, hunters staggered back, howling. For a moment the smoke covered them. The soldier pulled the girl to her feet. Now, move. They sprinted through the broken archways, the ruins shaking with fire. The girl stumbled, but he held her up. Her breath came in gasps, her face pale with fear. Behind them, the hunters closed in again, their steps like thunder. Another blast struck the ground. Throwing them into the dirt, the soldier groaned. His armor scorched, the girl cried out. Her hands cut and bleeding, but she never let go of the crystal. A hunter leapt forward, its blade raised high. The soldier rolled and fired. The shot cracked through its chest, sparks bursting as the creature fell. But another came, then another, too many. Far too many. The girl screamed, use it! She raised the crystal. Its glow grew brighter, pulsing like a heart of fire. For a moment the hunters froze, their eyes flickering, their weapons crackling. The light burst outward, a wave of energy sweeping through the ruins. The hunters staggered, their weapons shutting down. The drones above fell from the sky, crashing into the dirt for the first time. Silence filled the air. The girl collapsed to her knees, her body weak from the effort. The crystal dimmed, glowing faint but steady again. She looked at the soldier, her voice trembling. It can stop them, but only for a moment. I cannot hold it for long. The soldier pulled her up, his arms steady around her. He looked at the hunters struggling to rise again, rage burning in their broken bodies. His eyes narrowed. Then we use every moment we get. They moved deeper into the ruins, the walls glowing faint with old alien symbols. The soldier's mind raced. This was more than survival, more than escape. This was a war he did not understand yet. But one thing was clear. If the hunters caught them, it was the end. The girl leaned against him, whispering through her tears. If I fall, destroy the crystal. Do not let them have it. The soldier shook his head, his voice hard. You are not falling. Not while I stand. Outside, the hunters roared again, their voices echoing across the ruins. Their weapons reignited, their steps shook the earth. The trap was not broken, only delayed. The soldier tightened his grip on his rifle. The girl held the crystal close. The night burned with fire, and the hunt was far from over. The ruins were quiet again, but only for a breath. Smoke curled through the broken walls, the ground still hot from the blast. The soldier leaned against a stone pillar, his chest rising and falling. The girl sat on the floor beside him, the crystal dim but alive in her hands. Her silver eyes glowed faintly in the dark. Filled with pain and fear, she whispered, They will come again. They always come again. The soldier checked his rifle. The magazine was nearly empty. His grenades were gone. His knife was stained with blood and oil. He had fought many battles, but never one like this. The girl touched the glowing crystal, her fingers trembling. If I fall, you must destroy this, she said. Promise me, do not let them have it, even if it means I must die. The soldier stared at her, his jaw tight, his heart pounded with the weight of her words. Why me, he asked, his voice low. Why put this burden on me? Because you are human, she said, and they fear you. They call you traitor, they call you enemy. They know you will never bow to them. The soldier closed his eyes for a moment. He could still hear the hunters outside, their claws scraping stone, their growls rising and falling. They were regrouping, waiting for the right moment to strike. The girl leaned closer, her voice breaking. You must choose. If you try to save me, you risk your life. If you give me to them, you live, but the truth dies. What will you choose? The soldier looked at her, her small frame shaking, her hands clutching the crystal as if it was her soul. She was not a warrior. She was not made for this. Yet she carried the secret of monsters, the truth of what had been done to humans. His mind raced back to Earth, to the stories of his people. Humans who had stood against armies. Humans who had fought even when hope was gone. The words of old war songs echoed in his heart. Humanity never bows, humanity never breaks. The choice burned inside him. A soldier's life was about orders. But there were no orders here. Only survival, only truth, only his own will. Another explosion struck the ruins. The wall near them collapsed. Stones tumbled. The girl cried out, the crystal slipping from her hands. The soldier caught it, its light glowing in his palm. Warm and alive, he felt its pulse like a heartbeat against his skin. The hunters roared outside, closer than ever. Their red lights cut through the cracks in the walls. Shadows stretched across the stone floor. The girl gasped, reaching for the crystal. Please, give it back. The soldier handed it to her, their hands touching for only a moment. He saw her eyes, not just afraid, but also full of trust. He pulled her close, his voice steady. I made my choice. Her breath caught. And what is it? He looked toward the light of the hunters, his rifle tight in his grip. We fight. Together. The girl shook her head, tears streaming. They will kill us, maybe, the soldier said. But I will not hand you to them. And I will not let the truth die. The ruins shook again as hunters stormed through the entrance. Their claws flashing, their eyes burning, the soldier fired. The sound cracking through the night. One hunter fell, but more followed. He fought like a wall of iron. Every shot precise, every movement sharp. The girl raised the crystal again, its light bursting outward. The hunters staggered, their weapons failing for a moment. She cried out in pain as the energy drained her body, but she did not stop. The soldier grabbed her arm. Enough! You'll kill yourself, she gasped. Better me than the world. He shook his head, his voice like stone. No, not while I'm here. The battle raged, but inside the soldier's heart the choice was already made. He had chosen to protect her no matter the cost. He had chosen to stand against the hunters. No matter the odds, as the night burned with fire, the girl collapsed against him, the crystal dimming. Her voice was faint, almost gone. You chose me. The soldier looked down at her, his face hard but his eyes soft. I chose humanity. Outside, the hunters roared, their numbers growing. The fight was far from over, but the soldier no longer wavered. His path was clear. His choice was made. He would not betray her. He would not give up the truth. He would fight until the end, and if the end came, he would face it as a human should, standing tall, unbroken. The ruins shook again as another wave of hunters arrived. The soldier raised his rifle, the girl held the crystal. Together they faced the storm, and the night carried their defiance. The ruins shook under the march of the hunters. The air was thick with smoke and fire. The soldier stood tall, rifle in hand. The girl at his side holding the crystal close. Her face was pale, her breath shallow, but her silver eyes still burned with light. From the shadows the hunters stepped forward, a dozen of them forming a circle. Their claws gleamed. Their eyes glowed red. They did not rush. They moved slowly with purpose, because they knew he was trapped. Then another figure appeared. Larger than the rest, its armor was torn, its body half machine, half flesh. The soldier froze for a moment because, unlike the others, this one still carried a human face, broken but visible. One eye burned red, the other human. Filled with cold rage, the girl gasped, whispering in fear. The commander. The creature stepped closer, its voice a deep growl mixed with metal. Human, it said, the word sharp. Hand her over. And live. The soldier's grip tightened on his rifle. He stood between the girl and the commander. His voice steady. No. The commander tilted its head. You cannot win, you cannot fight us all, give her to us. And we will spare your life? The soldier shook his head. I've heard that lie before. The commander growled, its claws scraping the stone floor. Then you will die as the others did, the hunters roared. Rushing forward, the soldier fired, the sound cracking through the ruins. Bullets tore into metal and flesh. Hunters fell, but more pushed in. The soldier fought like a storm, every shot precise. His body moving with years of training. The girl raised the crystal. Light bursting outward, the hunters staggered, their weapons failing. Their bodies froze for a moment as the energy pulsed. But the commander stepped through the light unfazed. Its body stronger, its will unbroken, the soldier fired at its chest. Sparks flew, but the commander did not fall. It struck forward with a blade arm the soldier barely dodged. The blade cutting through stone where he had stood. He swung his rifle like a club, striking the creature's head. But it barely flinched. The girl cried out, "You cannot kill him with bullets." "Then what?" the soldier shouted, ducking another strike. "The crystal," she gasped. "It can break the link that binds him," the commander roared, knocking the soldier back against the wall. Pain shot through his ribs. His rifle skidded across the ground. The commander loomed over him, claws raised. "You should have chosen life," it growled. The girl screamed, raising the crystal high. Its light exploded, brighter than ever before. The commander staggered, roaring in pain. For a moment its human eye flickered, showing something deeper, something broken inside. The soldier grabbed his knife and lunged, driving the blade into the creature's chest where flesh still remained. The commander roared, striking him across the shoulder. Blood spilled, but the soldier held on, twisting the blade. The girl cried out, her voice trembling, "Do not kill him, use the crystal. Free him." The soldier gritted his teeth. The commander's strength crushing him, he shouted, "Then do it now." The girl pressed the crystal forward, its light pouring into the commander's body. The creature screamed, falling to its knees. Sparks and blood burst from its chest. The red light in its eye dimmed, the human eye filled with tears. For a moment the battlefield froze. The hunters stopped moving, their claws lowered. Their leader's roar filled the ruins, half rage, half sorrow. The commander looked at the soldier, its broken human voice whispering, "End them," before collapsing to the ground. The hunters howled, fury shaking the night. Their commander was down, but they did not retreat. They rushed forward again, rage stronger than fear. The soldier grabbed his rifle and stood, his body bleeding, but his spirit burning. The girl collapsed beside him, the crystal dimming again. Her voice weak. "We hurt him, but we did not win. They will not stop." The soldier pulled her up, his voice steel. "Then we keep fighting, until the last breath." The ruins shook as the hunters swarmed. Fire lit the sky. The soldier stood in the center, the girl behind him clutching the fading crystal. Together they faced the endless tide. The commander's last whisper echoed in the soldier's mind. Not just rage, but also plea. Somewhere deep inside those monsters, humanity still lived. And now the soldier carried the weight of that truth. The night burned, the ruins crumbled. The battle raged on, and the soldier made his stand. The ruins burned, fire licking the broken walls. The soldier stood with his rifle raised, the girl behind him clutching the fading crystal. The hunters surrounded them, red eyes glowing like embers in the smoke. The commander lay still on the ground, half human, half machine, its broken body twitching. The girl stared at it with wide eyes, her voice shaking. "It is not dead, not fully." The crystal broke the chain, but only for a moment. The soldier wiped blood from his face, his chest heavy with pain. His eyes scanned the shadows. "Then we don't have much time," the hunters roared again, their voices echoing in the night. They did not attack at once. They circled, waiting, buying time, as if they knew something more was coming. The girl gasped suddenly, clutching the crystal tighter. The dim light inside it flickered, then grew, shining brighter. Shapes appeared in the glow. Not just light, but images, memories. A projection lit the air between them. The soldier's eyes narrowed. He saw ships, massive and endless, dark as night. Their hulls were marked with the same symbols that glowed on the ruins. They stretched across the stars, an army of shadow. The girl whispered, her voice breaking, "It is their plan. This is why they hunt me. The invasion is not here yet. The invasion is coming. They are preparing to strike Earth." The soldier's blood ran cold. He saw the blue planet in the crystal's light, Earth shining in the void. Then he saw fire raining down, cities burning, humans screaming, the hunters marching through smoke. "No," he whispered. "Not Earth." The girl looked at him, tears in her silver eyes. "That is why they call you traitor. They fear humanity. They know if the truth spreads, your people will rise. They know humans will fight, and fight harder than any world they have taken." The soldier's heart pounded. His mind burned with rage. Humanity had fought monsters before, but this was more than monsters. This was betrayal. This was war. The crystal dimmed again, the images fading into darkness. The girl collapsed to her knees, her strength nearly gone. "Now you know," she whispered. "Now you see why they cannot take me." Why you cannot let me fall? The soldier crouched beside her, pulling her close, his voice firm. Then we fight, we warn Earth. We stop them before it begins. Her breath shook. It will not be easy, they are endless. They are powerful. He nodded, his eyes sharp as steel. So is humanity, we do not stop, we do not bow, not now. Not ever. The ruins shook again, louder this time. The ground split as more hunters marched in. Their red lights filled the night like a sea of fire. The commander stirred, its broken body rising slowly. One human eye stared at the soldier. Bleeding but alive, the creature growled, its voice mixed with pain and rage. You cannot save them. You cannot save your world, it will burn. Like all the others. The soldier raised his rifle, aiming at the commander's chest. We will see about that. The hunters roared and charged. The soldier fired, bullets cracking through the smoke. The girl raised the crystal again, its weak light pulsing as if fighting to stay alive. The ruins became a battlefield once more, fire and shadow clashing. But deep inside, the soldier knew this was no longer just about survival. It was the first strike of something greater. A war that stretched beyond the ruins, beyond this planet. The invasion was real, and Earth was the target. The girl gasped, her voice faint. Promise me one thing. What? He asked, never lowering his rifle. If I fall, protect them, protect your people. Do not let Earth become another grave. The soldier looked at her, his jaw tight. I promise. The hunters pressed closer, the fight closing in. The soldier stood like a wall, his weapon blazing, the girl clutching the crystal behind him. Their breaths were heavy, their bodies broken, but their will unshaken above the ruins. The sky darkened. For a moment the soldier thought it was smoke, but then he saw shapes in the clouds, vast and sharp. Ships breaking through the atmosphere. Hundreds of them, their shadows covering the stars. The girl cried out, they are here. The soldier's heart pounded. He gritted his teeth, raised his rifle once more and whispered, then humanity's fight begins tonight. The sky burned, the hunters roared, the crystal pulsed, and the ruins became the spark of a war that would decide the fate of Earth.